Good evening, my brothers and sisters in time. My name is George Alexander. I am the co-founder, the CEO, the chief watch designer, and chief perfumer of Maison, also known as the Black Horologist. Welcome back to the channel. Oh, goodness. Y'all, it has been a week. I am exhausted. To be honest, I was considering skipping this week. But I'm trying to stay consistent and try to, keep on trucking. It's been a very exciting week. On a personal level, my wife and I are, as of tomorrow, this coming Sunday, March 16th, celebrating 8 years of marriage. So very excited about that. And as such, I had to, make sure that she felt loved and appreciated. So we finished up a bunch of projects and stuff that we were talking about doing, and just very excited to be able to do that for her. She is also the president of Maison, so drop a happy anniversary in the chat, and also give her a follow. The Nurtured Noir podcast on all of your podcast places. Nanji Alexander. Find her, and I'll have the links on the screen as well. Continuing with this series, this part of the series where we're going through, I guess, the 5 brands that have had the biggest influence on Maison de Filion. I'm excited to talk about this particular brand. It is aesthetically one of my favorites, and it's one that has had an indelible impact on Maison de Filion, and really, how we've approached even our first collection, Pistrus, which I am currently wearing, Pistrus Lapis. Go pre-order that, by the way, at maisondefilion.com. We're also on TikTok Shop. We're also on Instagram as well. So again, this is Pistrus Lapis from the Pistrus collection. Just one of 5 colors within the collection. You can order the entire, pre-order the entire complete collection as well. And if you're doing that, that allows us to then plan for future releases that I think you're really going to love. Also, make sure that you hit the subscribe button, share, like, comment, all of that. And I look forward to engaging with you all. But like I said, I wanted to really give flowers today to a brand that has meant a lot to me for a very long time, and that is Cartier. It is no secret how much of an influence they've had on myself and on the brand. Especially considering that the Pistrus collection, once again, boom, shameless plug, is a tank style watch. I love the tank. I love the Cartier tank, and all of its different iterations, but I'll get into that in just a moment. So Cartier has been around since, I want to say it's like 1847, founded by Jean-Louis Cartier, if I am correct in that, no, not Jean-Louis. Wow. Louis-Francois Cartier. So Cartier, please don't jump down my throat. But it is Louis-Francois Cartier, but I do believe 1847 is the correct year. They were founded in Paris, and really got their start in jewelry. Really known as a jeweler for aristocrats and, really high society. But it wasn't until several years later, I want to say it was like 57 years later, 1904, was it? They created a watch for an aviator by the name of Alberto Santos Dumont. Those of you who know Cartier know the Cartier Santos. That was really their entry into watchmaking, and then from there, and to be honest, the Santos was one of the first modern wristwatches, right? So, a very, very cool entry into watchmaking from an already storied Maison. And I'm sure that where it is now is far beyond Louis Francois Cartier's wildest dreams, right? I'm so sorry, y'all. Jean Louis is sending me. But again, y'all know me. Y'all get the real and the raw from me. I was definitely going to have to, fact check myself and put it up on the screen as I was editing. So, Louis Francois Cartier. Sorry, I had to throw myself off sometimes, right? Then, as they expanded into horology, Cartier made use of movements from like Jaeger LeCoultre or JLC before starting to make their own in-house movements. A lot of which they make in use to this very day. A conversation about Cartier would not be complete without talking about, I guess, the different models that they offer, because they all have a unique silhouette. There's also, just something beautiful about them. Obviously, the tank is huge for me. I believe right now more entry level one would be the Tank Must de Cartier. Still an absolutely beautiful watch. I love that they've introduced more like colors as they did when they released or re-released the Tank Must. And it's a beautiful timepiece. They have some that come with quartz and some that come with automatic movements. So I really love the Tank Must, the Tank Française and the Tank Américaine. Again, beautiful watches, great variants there. And then the Tank Louis Cartier, as you're seeing all of these on the screen. So even within the various, we'll call them families, there are variations that are really cool looking. Another one that I truly love is the Ballon Bleu. My hip hop heads, was it Palm Olive? The Freddie Gibbs song had Killer Mike on it and Pusha T. And he says the bezel on her Ballon Bleu do the Tinashe. Yeah, so it's cool to I love Pusha for his watch bars. So shout out to Pusha T. But the Ballon Bleu is another one of my personal favorites. I just think it's super sharp, and I'd love to have one. So Cartier, if you're watching, holla at your boy. And you got the Crown Guard, a round case, again a much different silhouette to that of the Tank. You have the Santos, which I've mentioned, which, I mean, they've made, skeletonized ones. They've made, just jewelry beset ones and everything in between. So, I mean, the Santos with that square case is absolutely beautiful. And you've seen it imitated a lot within the industry. A lot of brands, including some black-owned brands, have sort of released their own spin on it, but nothing beats the original. And the Santos is tried and true. It's absolutely gorgeous, and I really love it. You see the Cartier Pasha. It's like a more sports luxury design, very distinctive. Screw down crown cap. Again, you see it on the screen. Not necessarily my favorite, but one that I have a lot of respect for. And another thing that's really cool about Cartier is their collection. So like Tank and Pasha and Panthère and all that. Like, they take it to the maximum. They really stretch it out. So you'll have the watch, you'll have the fragrance, you'll have the belt buckle, all kinds of different accessories that are then sort of curated for that particular family of watches. And that's something that I seek to do with Aphelion as well. You'll see a lot of their influence all up and down what I end up doing with the brand. I used to say that I wanted to be like the Black Cartier, but I had to kind of shift my thinking, and Cartier wasn't trying to be anybody. Cartier was trying to be Cartier. So I I love that about them. So I want to be myself. So I thank them for, you know, the influence that they've given me. So now it would probably be kind of cool to explain why Cartier has had such a profound impact on Affilion or Maison de Filion. You know, I use those interchangeably. And why it was so important to me to do a tank style watch rather than, you know, coming out the gates with like a round watch. Part of it is that tank watches outside of Cartier are not done a whole lot. They're not. But it is such an iconic silhouette. And, you know, to go against that is, it's scary. It's out of the comfort zone, but it's also, to me, very necessary. Pistris is considerably larger than most tanks. It is about in alignment with the XL models of their tanks in terms of dimensions. Lug to lug, it's 44 millimeters, and then 34 millimeters wide. So very distinct and very striking, but maintaining those sort of tank proportions. And again, I did that as sort of a tribute to one of my favorite watches, which is the Tank. One of my favorite brands, which is Cartier. And their masterful use of stone dials and different design elements has led me to kind of exploring that. And they really get my mind working, much in the way that Piaget does and the way that Omega has. So like I'm always watching what they're putting out. I'm always watching what they're debuting, you know, around the times of like Watches and Wonders and all of those things. And I really, really, you know, I've always loved a lot about them. And it's not just the design with them. It's also the standard that you get with Cartier. You walk into a Cartier dealer. I remember walking into the Cartier dealer in the Wynn. I think it was the Wynn in Las Vegas on my honeymoon, appropriately enough, right? And the young lady who worked there was just absolutely dynamite. You know, treated my wife and I like we were, you know, VIPs and we were just walk-ins, right? You know, had my wife trying on giant, you know, $100,000 diamonds, and you know, just a wonderful experience. And fast forward a year later, we were in Atlanta for a family reunion. Had our then 5-month-old daughter, who's now 7, our oldest child, walked into the Cartier store in, was that Lenox Mall? And again, same experience. And we came home with all kinds of like Cartier literature and stuff like that. And as my oldest got older and started to like just kind of flip through books and look at pictures, she really enjoyed looking at and circling the Cartier watches that she loved. And she's got pretty good taste. So definitely a very sentimental and emotional connection to this brand, and a deep appreciation for the silhouettes that they go with. They've had stuff like the Tortue and the Tonneau, and so they've done, and masterfully done, honestly, pretty much every style of watch, every shape of watch. I mean, they had this one watch, and I saw it in a book, and it inspired me so intensely, design wise, and something that I'd love to figure out as well. They had just this beautiful watch, and I'm gonna put it on the screen as well. It had the Cartier Panther, as a front-mounted rotor on an automatic timepiece, which is absolutely insane. Obviously, the rotor, you usually see that on the back, on the case back, especially with an exhibition case back, but it was part of the design that, that Panther would go around as your wrist moved, and it would wind the watch. Absolutely stellar timepiece, and really changed the way that I looked at watches, and the way that I approached designing watches too. So I have a lot of respect and a lot of love for Cartier. And I could really go on forever talking about them and just how beautiful their watches are, and how much I'd love to own one. And honestly, like when Aphelion takes off, I do plan on, buying some of my dream watches and stuff like that. And, being able to have the things that I've always loved and had an appreciation for. And honestly, a Cartier or two is definitely in the cards there. And it's what I really love about them is sort of their varied price range as well. You can get a tank, in the early 2000s in terms of price, and it just goes on from there depending on different materials. And they use some of the premium materials, sapphire crystals, obviously, 316L stainless steel for their stainless steel ones. But I mean, you're talking, excuse me, I'm a little under the weather. 18 karat gold on their gold ones. I mean, they're doing stuff with watches that is classy and timeless, and things that never really get old. You don't see them introduce a whole lot of new silhouettes these days, because they really don't need to. They really don't need to. They have refined and perfected what they do, and even in that framework, they have been beautifully imaginative. And again, I can't say enough good things about them. So, rather than make this all about Maison de Filion, I will kind of wrap by recapping, the influence that Cartier has had, not just in the style of their watches, you know what I mean, not just in the materials used, but also in the standard of service and the standard of care that I want to bring to Maison de Filion. Also in the prestige and the immediate brand recognition. When you see a Cartier, and that is a testament to a couple of things. One, they've obviously marketed well, but more than that, it is just their sheer quality, and that's how they've lasted so long. I mean, you've been around since 1847. You entered into watches in 1904. It's 2025, and you're still a prestige piece, making prestige jewelry and prestige accessories, etc. Within those families as well. That's you don't do that unless you are really, really good at what you do, especially being a luxury good. So, again, a huge shout out to Cartier. Again, y'all, please forgive me for getting Louis-François Cartier's name wrong initially. Again, watch it back. I did correct myself, so cut me some slack. But I'm curious to hear, what you guys' favorite Cartier is, and kind of if you're a fan, and why you're a fan, and what draws you to them, and how long you've been on them. And if you got one, show it. We'd love to see it. So yeah, we're gonna continue on this series. Next, we're going to talk about next week. We're going to talk about a brand that has been influencing me since before I even got into watches, and one that is really pushing the envelope of what is possible in watchmaking. And I'm not telling you what it is, so you're just gonna have to wait. As always, pre-order the Pictures Collection. Do that. Subscribe, like, comment. Follow my wife, the president of Maison de Filion. She is an incredible influencer. She is a podcaster. She is a mental health professional. And more than anything, she's just an absolutely incredible human being, who I'm very blessed that I get to spend life with, and who, obviously I want to carve out some time to publicly acknowledge her and tell her I love her, and that it has been an incredible 8 years being married to her, and I can't wait for what the rest of forever holds. So, baby, I love you. I'm so, so proud of you, and happy anniversary, my love. Everybody, I love you all. Thank you so, so much for being on this journey with us. Find your favorite watch and wear it in good health. My name is George Alexander. I am the co-founder, CEO, chief watch designer, and chief perfumer of Maison, also known as the Black Horologist, and I'm signing off.